Hi, welcome. My name is Buffy from the Recovering Perfectionist Mama podcast, Grace in Progress. So, if this is your first time joining us, welcome. Happy to have you. If you are a returning listener, again, happy to have you. Welcome. So, for those of you who've not been here before, my name is Buffy. I am a women's lifestyle creator on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and I deal with women's lifestyle topics such as marriage, children, mindset, mental health, fitness and nutrition, certain biohacks, cycle syncing, communication things, affirmations, functional fitness, all sorts of topics that will help you level up. Because my goal is to provide information for you that you may or may not know or want to learn a little bit more about, so that you're armed with information that you can make choices that you need to make and what are going to make you a better person, leveling up. Ultimately, I like to learn a lot of information. I like to understand certain things and be able to make my own decisions, as well as constantly looking to how can I improve myself. If we, just improve 1% a day or a little bit a day, we're doing good, right? So today we're going to talk about sustainable eating habits beyond crash diets. So I want to say, hey friend, can we be honest for a second? How many times have you started a new diet on Monday, promised yourself you'd be good, cut out carbs, sugar, wine, maybe even coffee, and by Friday you're exhausted, hangry, and ready to eat an entire pizza by yourself? Yeah, me too. And I've been there more than once, and I've been there more than twice. And I dare say that I started this cycle probably when I was about 4 years old. I've experienced some trauma, which I think kind of predisposed me to certain things like that. I had certain family members who modeled that for me. If you're happy, then you should have ice cream. If you're sad, you should have ice cream. If you're mad, you should have ice cream. If you're this, food was the solution to everything. And ultimately, it can be really difficult to come out of that. It can also be really difficult when you're talking to an adult and you say to an adult, I'm not hungry, and that adult forces you to eat for whatever reason. I had a scenario, and one of my relatives brought it up to me. He's a couple years younger than me, where we had gone to McDonald's after skating, and my relative, had literally ordered me the biggest meal at McDonald's, king size, all that. And I was like, I'm not hungry. I'm not eating that. I don't want to eat that. And there was this huge confrontation as a result of it. So what I wanted to do, and what I did, which didn't work ultimately, was I pretended to be eating when the other person's, they weren't paying attention. And again, I'm not good at not telling the truth because I always get caught because I just can't do it. And so what I had done is I would rip off pieces and put it in my jacket, but I hadn't put it in the correct form. And when I got up, it was everywhere, and this person was very upset with me. And of course, my relative that's relaying the story, I didn't remember, of course I remembered that. It was very painful for me. Because for me, it was something about how it is when you tell someone how you feel and they ignore you. And for me, it wasn't about the food necessarily. It was about the pain of not being listened to, not being heard. And their reaction to, oh my gosh, you just wasted money for me, which clearly that was not what should have been the main concern for them, but it was. So here's the truth. Crash diets don't work. And if I had my share of crash diets, went on keto, I went on LA weight loss at one point, tried Weight Watchers, all sorts of things. South Beach diet. I think I've been on every Atkins potentially. So many things, right? The zone diet, all numbers of diets. And guess what? None of them really sustained until I finally had the courage to go forward and say, this needs to stop. This all or nothing. For me, it's I would literally start a diet, first I would have the things that I was going to miss because of the diet. And so then I would like gear up, eat all the things that I wanted to eat. And so then sometimes it would take me like a full week to start the diet, sometimes a full month to start the diet. But if I wasn't perfect, like I just fell apart. I just felt terrible as a result of that. So here's the truth. We all know crash diets don't work. Restriction only backfires. What does work? Creating eating habits that are sustainable, enjoyable, and flexible for life. Today, we're diving deep into how to build eating habits that honor your health, your energy, and your joy without obsession or guilt. And don't worry, I talk fast. So buckle up. We're going to cover a lot in the next few minutes. So ultimately, I want you to know, those of you who haven't tuned in before, what to expect from me. I'm going to be very honest. I'm also going to say things like they are, but also offer some compassion and understanding, because I think we're all, in different places. Who knows who's in what situation, and in a non-judgmental fashion, because I would really like to have some sort of community of women who can, kind of come up together and share ideas, and even give story ideas if there's certain things that you're interested in, because I do like to research and do things like that. So that's an open invitation to you. And if you want to reach out to me on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, I'm the same username, recovering_perfectionist_mama. So why fad diets fail? The human body resists deprivation. It is what has helped us survive as long as we've survived. Restriction triggers cravings. We always as humans want what we can't have, don't we? Studies show that 95% of dieters regain the weight within 1 to 5 years, which is really sad. Diet culture pushes quick fixes that wreck metabolism, hormones, and mental health. Crash diets often cause binge restrict cycles. Low self-esteem then comes, and then the guilt spiral. The focus shouldn't be less food. It should be better food, better balance, and better mindset. And I will say, I know that some of you probably still remember the food guide pyramid, where grains were like the heart of it, and dairy and all that stuff. But I truly think that focusing on protein has been a huge game changer for me, because it's helped hunger, because obviously protein is more satiating than our grains, right? Because grains just are kind of an empty, and if you pair those two together, the grains, like some sort of grains portion as well with protein, I mean, it's even more of like strong power. Vegetables or whatever too. So let's talk about reframing the goal. Sustainable eating is not about being perfect. There goes the P word again. It's about being consistent. And the thing for me that always drove me was I would weigh myself multiple times a day. Like after going to the restroom, after a shower, all these times of the day. And I ran across a couple of tablets where I had like written my goals. And my goals, like I was constantly like mapping out my goals, mapping them out. And it would freak me out if I would gain like 2 pounds in a day. Now, as a healthy person who can see things for what they really are, as women tend to fluctuate in weight because of hormones and such, depending on the cycle day that they're on and such like that. And so now I see something, for instance, I remember like I dropped, a certain amount of weight the other day, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's because I'm realizing it's cyclical, right? That's not real weight. That's water weight or water loss or whatever it is. So I don't worry about that too much. I look more for trends, ultimately. And weight isn't the end all be all. your muscle mass and other indicators are important as well as they're talking now like what weight to hip or hip to waist to hip ratio. Sorry, I couldn't get that out. So shift the focus from weight loss to energy levels, to better digestion, to balanced hormones, to longevity, to feeling confident in daily life. Mindset hack. Instead of asking, is this food good or bad? Ask, how does this food make me feel? Because different people, maybe you have a gluten allergy, maybe you have a dairy allergy, maybe you have any other number of allergies, maybe a corn allergy, So if it's something that's not going to make you feel good, you probably don't want to eat it. Action step. Journal after meals for a week. Notice energy, digestion, and mood. That awareness can change everything. Let's talk about principles of sustainable eating, the 80-20 rule. I'm sure you guys have heard this forever. 80% nourishing whole foods, 20% fun foods, which still means that you're not overly restrictive. You're not labeling anything as good or bad. You're having a healthy mindset with food. You're modeling for your kids if you have kids. You're modeling for, friends if that's kind of what you do. Flexibility prevents burnout. Balanced meals. Each plate has protein, fiber, a healthy fat, and color. This keeps blood sugar stable, prevents cravings, and keeps you full longer. Ditch the all or nothing mentality. I was huge on this, and I think that goes hand in hand with some perfectionism. And also I think it's very limiting and it's very difficult because you are constantly trying to avoid messing up. Because if you mess up, you're going to be really upset with yourself and it's going to linger with you. One cookie doesn't mean you've ruined everything. Progress is about patterns, not perfection. And sometimes your body wants certain things, so it gives you those cravings. Build routine, not rules. Create 3 to 5 go-to meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Simplify grocery shopping and meal prep. Hydration and mindful eating. Often hunger is thirst. Eat without distraction 1 meal per day. Just notice flavors, textures, and satisfaction levels. So the other thing I would also say too is my first podcast episode that I did is on mindful eating. So if you struggle with that and you want some tips and such, go ahead and check out that one. Also talking about other issues as well there too. So I think I have about 22 episodes or so. Let's talk about mindset hacks. Food neutrality. Take the morality out of food. Stop labeling food as bad. Abundance mindset. Instead of saying, I can't have that, try, I can have it if I want it. But do I want it now? Self-talk swap. Replace I blew it with, I learned from it, and it tasted good at the time, right? I added that part, but. Tiny habits. Attach healthy choices to routines. Example, glass of water after brushing teeth. Celebrate small wins. Every choice is a deposit in your long-term health bank, and every positive choice that you make helps you flex that muscle, helps you build that muscle to make it stronger, and helps you build that mindset. You're setting new neural pathways. Real life action steps. Meal planning light. Pick 2 proteins, 2 veggies, and 2 carbs each week and mix and match. Snack smart. Keep balanced snacks on hand. Apple, nut butter, hummus, and carrots. Upgrade instead of restricting. Swap soda for sparkling water with fruit. Chips for air-popped popcorn, and candy for dark chocolate. Listen to your body. Use hunger and fullness cues instead of calorie obsession. Because ultimately, that's what tells it all. If you're hungry, eat. If you're not, then don't, right? And I literally, when I first started out on this journey, I would actually have to stop myself and be like, man, I so want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then it got to the point where I realized, I'm like, do I really want this? Or am I just bored? Or am I just angry? Or am I just sad? Or am I just, and you start kind of going through that. Celebrate small wins. Every choice is a deposit. We've already talked about that. So the other thing too is it's like, listen to your body. Hunger and fullness cues, which we've already talked about. And progress tracking. Journal 1 win per day. Could be energy, mood, digestion, or food freedom. Crash diets promise quick results, but rob you of joy. Sustainable habits promise freedom, balance, and results that last. It's not about restriction. It's about creating a lifestyle where food works with you, not against you. Remember, sustainable eating isn't sexy, but it's powerful. You deserve to eat with peace, confidence, and joy. That's what real wellness looks like. This episode was all about moving away from crash diets and towards a lifestyle of eating that's flexible, enjoyable, and actually lasts. No more yo-yo, no more guilt, just freedom, balance, and energy. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who's stuck in the diet cycle. Subscribe for more practical, empowering wellness tips every week, and let's build habits that last together. Thank you for joining us. This is a topic very near and dear to my heart, and I know that some of you are probably struggling with that currently. And if I can be of help of any kind, just feel free to shoot me a message. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.